hills of North Dakota land, where the skies are wide and the freedom stands. With a Bible in my hand and a prayer in my heart, living this life where the wild plays its part. Dust on my boots and my hat pulled low, got my trusty rifle and I'm ready to go. Hunting the game as the sun hits the sky, in the heart of the 701 I feel so alive. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. Ranching the fields, the cattle run free, with a purpose so strong, it's our grand legacy. The rivers run deep as we cast out our lines, fishing the waters where the North Star shines. Got the warmth of the sun with the chill of the night, with every shot fired we're ready to fight for the freedom we cherish. The second is true, with family beside us we stand through and through. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. In a world that's spinning with sins that they wield, we stick to our values, our fate is revealed. With the word as our guide, we tread on the earth, a community built from the love, not the curse. Raising our voices, singing loud through the night, for God and our freedom, we'll continue the fight. Let the rifles ring out, let the spirits align. In North Dakota's embrace, our souls intertwine. So when you hear the gunshots and feel that proud sound, know it's faith and freedom that echoes around. From the fields of the ranch to the depths of the lake, with God on our side, there's nothing at stake. Guns and the 71, forever we'll stand in the heart of our faith in this great free
Found out I have no sound. There, are we back, everybody? Hopefully we're back. I thought I had everything ready to rock and roll. Oh, I guess I'm a little rusty. I've been off too much. Anyway, hey, Justin, good to have you on there as well. Again, welcome back here to 2026. Got some great things going on here. The first thing I'm gonna share with you, and we do have our guest standing by, and I'm telling you, I think we're gonna have a good evening with him as well. But I want to share this new site. We spent a little money and we relaunched, so I'm gonna just throw it up here, and I'm gonna maximize that. So as you can see, there's the brand new website, gunsinthe701.com. Go check it out. Of course, we got our big sponsors on there as well. And it's pretty easy. You can navigate, watch here, everything at the very top tab. There is a brand new sweatshirt. It's a zipper style. It's got kind of a new logo on there. Another one we're trying out. Everything uploads right here as the latest episode. And if you want to watch, just go there and you click on it.
Hey, folks.
And
Leon here,
you can
Blackberry
go
Lodge.
on there. So you're going to want to go check it all out as far as that goes. We also got a brand new place. You hit support the show. Looky there. We've been talking about this for a long time, and we've got everything from $5 to $75. You can support the show very easily, and it can reoccur every single month, and you're just helping us keep the lights on. It costs a little money to do this, not a ton, but enough that it's a little bit helps. Like I said, I don't pay myself on this deal. I do it for the love of it and on the support of the Second Amendment, freedom, and everything else that this country stands for. So that's one of the new things there. Also, we do have a brand new show lineup. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that as well. Some of the things have been going already. We have GAT701 every single Wednesday night right here, 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 8 Central. Except we will be moving during the Lent season, which comes up in March and April, to Thursday nights. I like to go to those Lent services at church right before Easter. I'm, of course, on with Mitchell in the morning, Todd Mitchell, KFYR, 550 a.m. radio every single Friday morning, 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central in the morning. Blackbeard Logic is Friday evening, Leon Francis, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central. Leon's doing a great job over there, and we just can't thank him enough for coming on board, and we love the content, and so is everybody else. So you want to tune into that as well. Hey, Dan, good to see you. Just chimed in there. Sportsman's Sunday Devotion. Now, that's hosted by our friend Vance Bishop. I've known him for a very long time. He comes on at 7 a.m. Mountain, 8 a.m. in the Central Time Zone, and he does just a great job of bringing God's Word along with what's going on in the sportsman's world. Last Sunday, I thought his devotion was great. And then he started talking about weird fishing laws in the United States, and some of them are crazy, guys. You should go check out that replay. It's pretty good. Then we're going to have a brand new show. David Fettick, he's going to be hosting this. He's the owner of 1760 Sports LLC out of Mandan, called 701 Marksman. It's going to be geared towards competition, rifle building. I know he's got some people lined up ready to come on. He's going to do this once a month. He trucks, so he's on the road a lot. He'll probably be joining us from the road quite a bit. But I'm telling you, tune into that. He's got some great guests already lined up to do this show, and I'm very excited to have him doing this. I will be coming back to Dakota mornings on K-Fire 550. Next Monday, I'll be joining Michael Bell. Don't want to miss that. That's at 9 a.m. Central, 8 Mountain. We're going to talk about a few things. There's so much to talk about, but we're going to be talking about probably Governor Walz over there, Minnesota, anti-gunner, and a lot of things that have been going on around the country. I also will be filling in for Daryl on KFYR Cafe Tuesday. That's next week. So we got really busy here. Just boom right at the beginning. And that's in the 4 o'clock hour of the Central Time Zone, so 3 o'clock Mountain. And my guest that day is going to be Dusty Backer. He's with Chronic Wasting Disease. If you haven't seen that on Facebook, go check it out. We got a lot of things coming up. January 17th. Wolf Range, that's out there by New Salem. That's LAUER Auto Repair, one of our great sponsors. That's his place, 11:30 a.m. Central, January 17th. Contact me. Send us a message at gunsinthe701.com. Just guns at gunsinthe701.com. If you got my number, text me, call me. Same with Jamie, and same with Dougie. Big Buck Contest, February 7th. Got this sent to me, Beulah Civic Center. If you need the info, 701-880-0443. Ask for Marcy, 701-880-0443. And, of course, Wednesday show lineup. Next week, I will have U.S. candidate for the North Dakota House seat, Alex Belez. He's going to be on. The following weekend on January 21st, Dusty Backer. And, of course, we're going to be talking about the CWD scam and a few other things. And January 28th, I can't announce it yet. It's not confirmed, but I do have a pretty good guy lined up if it's able to take place. So with that, everybody, we're going to get going with the show. And as always, I like to start with a prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for a fantastic start to January 2026 and all the great and precious things you've blessed us with. I want to give thanks for sending your son, which we just celebrated his birthday this past month. Without him, there is no way and no pathway to heaven for any of us. And we need to be very, very thankful and be blessed for that beautiful gift that we've all been given. I also want to put in there tonight that David Feddick's dad, Alan, he's going to be undergoing a neck surgery. And we want to ask you so that you will guide the surgeons so that they can replace those discs and take away pain and bring a fast healing forgiveness to him. In your name we pray, Lord. Amen. All right. With that, let's see. I know he's been waiting patiently, and we're going to bring him into the fold. Jared, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Evidently, my mic I had still muted when I started. So
yeah, I had to double check mine before you brought me in.
I guess I'm just rusty. I've been off for a couple weeks, so yeah, you know how it goes.
You know, I think you get a break this time, right? Just this time.
Just this time, yeah. So a lot of things going on. I don't usually take up 10 minutes or so talking about it. But
you got to do all the housekeeping in the front of it, right? And I mean, it's good. You got a lot going on, which is a good thing, right? Being busy keeps you out of trouble. It keeps you going, right? So that's all right. You can ask for.
Well, I got to give you the formal introduction. This is Jared Fischer. He's the owner of 701 Arms. You can see that on his little picture over there. I believe that's your logo.
Yep.
And actually, I might have loaded it. I did. There it is. Right.
Oh, look at that. There we go.
So you're going to want to go to 701arms.com and check out all the cool things. Although that's going to be changing from what I hear, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
We got to dive into that a little bit. That's pretty exciting news. Yeah.
And I got to say, you know, I was looking for a pretty cool little Christmas present there right before Christmas. And you had some good specials going on. And you and I had talked, but we'd never met in person. So that was great. It was just I don't know. I was there, what, hour or so?
I was going to say, we made what in any other place would be a 10-minute transaction into an hour and some minutes. So that was,
yeah.
No, it was good to chat. And you picked up a beautiful Henry. I can't believe it. Like I said to you, these Henrys, like I've always been a fan, but they sell themselves. They really do. And I try not to be beat on a Henry. You know, if you call me, we've had guys drive, 3 or 4 hours to buy a Henry from us, and definitely one of our number one sellers. So we've been very happy about that. It's a great partnership with those guys. They treat their dealers really well. If there's any other FFLs that are listening that are dealers with them, I mean, I have nothing good to say or nothing bad to say about the brand. Only good things.
I hope you got good things.
Yeah, sometimes I trip that stuff up. Yeah.
Okay.
I was in radio for 12 years, or I'm still do some radio on the side, and still can't talk. They paid me to talk for all those years and do that. But no, the 701 thing, 701 Arms thing has taken off to a whole new level. It was kind of a brainchild, so I know we had kind of talked about it, but I've spent the last 15 years or so, 12 years or somewhere in there, living in West Fargo. And the wife and I decided that we were going to move back to Western North Dakota, Southwest Central here, North Dakota.
That's just a smart move.
I think it is. I mean, a lot of the reason, I mean, we get to be closer to my family and our friends that are out here, and just good people. There's a lot of good people out here. Times are changing in Fargo. It's a lot different place even than when we first moved in and stuff. I always said I'd never live in Fargo, but it was good to us while we were there. Like I said, had an illustrious over decade radio career out there, and did some marketing for companies and things, and had a lot of friends. But as everyone else moved on too, so it was time for us, and we've been very happy. We've been here. It'll be a year in February. About a year next week since we actually moved out here. So it's been a good time, and things got rolling a lot quicker with some of our life decisions than we did.
Yeah, you were telling me things went pretty fast for you. Well, so I first saw you. You and your wife were walking around with shirts at 701 Arms, and that was at the Grant County Fair.
Those shirts got me into so much trouble with some people in my life because they were like this hat. I haven't bought any swag except for some stickers and some other things for the business yet. And we were gifted those. And I had someone come up and they're like, I've given you stuff from my business. Where's my, it's coming. Give me a minute. So, so at the Grant County Fair, we were tried to be very involved in that. We did some sales and stuff. We had, apparently our prices were good enough that we had people drive 3 hours away to pick up firearms, which is great. A great problem to have. Right. So
Absolutely.
if you're willing to travel, we're always willing to cut you a deal, but, no. So kind of the brainchild behind this is, one of my, I guess I didn't know him at the time, but I actually helped a guy, sway the public. Fargo and West Fargo had the rule where you had to go in front of the city council and all that. I believe that's actually been banned now. And we were actually looking at getting our FFL at that point. And, this guy, who actually was looking into it, I ran the Facebook group, our neighborhood Facebook group.
Okay.
And there was this lady, we'll call her Karen because she probably was a Karen.
Love it.
Keep in mind, my Facebook profile picture was me holding a deer, gun in front of it, as one does, and came in like, well, this is just terrible. Like, there's going to be guns in our streets and everything that you can imagine. And I went and rallied the troops in the Facebook group, and me and him, John Family Enterprises, shout out to him. In West Fargo, we actually kind of developed a pretty good relationship, and he kind of helped me through my process and a lot of the questions that I had trying to get my FFL. And between you and me and now everyone on social media land here with Guns in the 701, we were not really planning to start selling guns until 2026.
Well, I remember you telling me that, and here you are.
Yeah, here we are.
Like I had mentioned to you, suppressors, as we know, the tax stamp has been zeroed out. And I know you think, I'm not doing that yet because I like to support my sponsors. Well, I have Little Angry Man Firearms, and John's located down there in South Dakota. Well, for me, then I have to bring it into North Dakota and do it through an FFL. So I'm probably going to be looking just for, North Dakota FFL to do that with. Get some, I want to get one or two.
They're fun.
You can never have enough, maybe three, but I don't have to do a $200 tax stamp anymore. So to me, that's a no-brainer to start buying suppressors. And
it's amazing to me. And I was kind of on the fence because to get you need your SOT to do it. So things first, to get your FFL and then to get your SOT. And I was kind of on the fence about it. We were looking into doing it this fall. Just a little background on our business. Like I said, we weren't really planning to do anything. And one thing led to another. There was enough demand and enough people in the area. We kind of formed this business under the serving local people, the people in the area, giving them access to a plethora of whatever you wanted by special order or by what we had in hand. And also being like a service to our nonprofits in our area, our fire departments, our anyone looking to make a charity purchase, I guess would be that way, because we're here to help the community. That was kind of our thing. We want to give back to the community in any way we can. And it started out with the Carson Rural Fire Department raffle. Those are out there right now. There's actually 5 guns on there, along with a Polaris Sportsman ATV and a John Deere mower, zero-turn mower. So we do have some 701 Arms. We've got a book of those tickets that we can sell. So if you are looking and you're in the area, or stop by and we'll hook you up with that, sell you some of those. But also there's plenty of volunteers and businesses out there selling them. But that kind of launched into everything. It made it a whole lot easier to figure out the ordering and the process, because there's a lot of, as you know, with any business or with even this, there's a lot of logistics behind everything.
A lot of paperwork, and it's even worse when you're in the firearms.
Yeah, you got state, you got federal, you sit down with an ATF IOI. I mean, there's a lot of things, but the one thing is, so we were, this fall we talked about it, we're like, no, let's get our grounds bearing here and know how to do this stuff. And obviously there's a lot of paperwork too in the back end of it with, your 4473s and all that. And so we want to learn one thing at a time, but I'm thinking probably early this spring we'll be offering those suppressors and those kind of the Form 4 items and all that sooner, probably rather than later.
Well, I can tell you right now, and maybe that's okay, because this went out here a while. I think it was shortly after the 1st of January, where ATF form outages. Imagine that. They said that, and a National Shooting Sports Foundation put this out, that an unprecedented surge in E-form submissions is hammering the system. This is on January 1st. ATF processed roughly 150,000 E-forms compared to the usual 2,500 a day.
Can you imagine just like the poor guy who's sitting there processing those in some basement for the ATF?
And when I posted it, and I always play the flip side of this, because everything I've ever done, I try to think ahead. If I see the environment changing around me, especially if something I'm doing, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go prepare for that. It's just, that's how I'm wired.
And I really do think with the ATF on this one, I mean, I think it's a good thing. I think the zero tax stamp thing. The problem is I don't know if they should have leaned into it or started like slowly processing those, because they had a period where they just stopped for a little bit.
Yes.
And I think that they should have eased into it. But supposedly, so a lot of the groups that I'm in on Facebook, obviously, and the guys that I know that are dealing suppressors and SOT items, they are still seeing record turnaround times. I mean, like we were. So it's good that everything seems to be opened up. Can you imagine 100? I don't think they prepared for that.
Well, I know they didn't. That's why I said you would have thought that, knowing that this was coming, that the tax stamp was zeroed out, people were making their purchases before that. We all know there, a lot of companies were running a special, and then they just decided to finally go ahead January 1, process that on that $200 zero out. I'm sorry, but the big beautiful bill passed past summer. They've had 6 months to prepare for this.
And what surprises me about all this, and I get there's going to be a jump because there's a lot of guys that are like, oh, I'm going to go do this. But a lot of these suppressor companies, like your big brands of suppressors, your Silencer Co's and all those ones, were doing promotions where they were covering the tax stamp anyways. So really there was no difference. The price was the same that day, or whatever afterwards. So it doesn't surprise me, as far from a marketing brain, someone who's got a marketing brain, that people were going to wait to do it. But if it were me, it's just like when you go Christmas shopping, right? The Black Friday sale probably is going to be the price 2 weeks before Christmas anyways.
Oh, yeah. I looked at that, and I kind of was watching these numbers, because you can hop on there and see what the numbers are. And it's pretty public knowledge. And I saw that there was a dip in the suppressor side. Okay. Yeah. Not much, but there was. So I knew that was going to hit come January 1. Some people, like you said, Silencer Co. were covering it, because I imagine then, they paid it in. They're not going to have to pay it out. I don't know how they get that back, or maybe they just said we can cover that, and we're just going to eat it. And get
from a business mindset, I'm assuming they wrote it off. I'm sure it was they figured out a way to write it off on their books. But it was smart on those companies that did that. It was smart on their part, because I'm sure a lot of these companies ramped up their production, but you can only, like we're a Type 07, so we're a manufacturer technically. Like from a manufacturing standpoint, there's only so many you can make leading up to this. Let's say, I know it was this summer, but let's say last year, January 1st, you knew this was going to go into effect. There's still only so many you can produce in a year time. So you look on, like, obviously as dealers, we have distributors for things, and you can, like, even though I don't have an SOT, I can see it. There's I'm not going to say it's a shortage, because there's plenty out there, but you can see some of the more popular ones that are more cookie cutter, cheap, like there's the stock's lower than it's been, at least since we've had our FFL. But again, it'll all come back. This isn't like, this isn't like 5 or 10 years ago when there were only X amount of companies building suppressors. At this point, you can, I'm not saying that you should do it, but like there's companies in China that are making suppressors at this point. People were getting in trouble with the ATF. You know what I'm saying? So
and the ones I own are Lane. That's who I started with, and they were big supporters of the NRA banquets back in the day with me. So, Corey and that crew, I've always stayed pretty loyal to.
And I was going to say, the nice thing is, like, even in North Dakota, we have locally made suppressors here. I mean, it's nice. And I'm sure you've seen, because you stay up on this, is South Dakota trying to actually deregulate their suppressors, which I think is a cool deal, because at the end of the day, yes, there's probably some benefits as far as shooting it, but a lot of the benefits is hearing protection, you know.
Absolutely. It gives you it's the decibels. You still should, honestly, most of them, when you look at the actual decibels that are put out, you probably still should put some hearing protection on. A lot of people don't, but I still think it's a good thing. And you take countries like Africa, it's considered rude if you don't use one. I mean, you buy them over the counter like anything else.
I mean, you know, just as well as I do, living in this area, any hunting season, all of a sudden you'll hear bang, you know?
Oh, yeah, and a long ways away.
Yeah, I mean, miles and miles away. It's pretty cool. I mean, I gotta say, I think it's cool that suppressors have gotten to the point where it felt like it was taboo for a long time. You know what I mean? I mean, especially outside of the gun community. I know even myself, for the longest time, I always had in my mindset when I bought guns, and we talked about this when we talked about in person, was in my mind, whenever I bought a firearm when I was younger, it had to have some kind of purpose, right? It had to be hunting, it had to be plinking. And like, to me, the cost associated with it back in the day, where you got to pay a $200 tax stamp, you got to go spend at that time, you know, $1,000 on a suppressor. Even back then, it was like, well, that was a lot of money just to have something on the end of the gun that made it a little bit quieter. And all I had to do was get one and then go hunting with it once. And yep.
Yeah, no, I love my suppressor. I truly do. I love shooting with it. I will tell you that I had a little issue with it at first when we first put it on, but we got that solved, it seemed like. And it does shoot a little different, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to probably always use it on that gun anyway, so not a big deal. It's worth doing it. Little Angry Man Arms says, Liberty Precision Machine, baby. I think that's who he deals down to. John, thanks. Another one of our great sponsors here of the show. So I'm going to get to a few of these comments here, because they've been rolling in. But anybody on X, I'm having trouble tonight with X as far as accessing it. So if you want to share that with your friends, because I can't even see the counter anymore. I guess Elon decided, well, it looks like to me you got to up your level of payment if you wanted to be able to come into a third-party stream anymore. I'm not going to do that. So X is clear. It's on. I'm looking at it. It's working great. Just so everybody knows, though, that we cannot see those numbers anymore, but we don't need to. We're good no matter what. So anyway, hey, David, he says, yep, you did it, man. Good job. Vance, hey, Vance has Sportsman Sunday Devotion there. You don't want to miss that. That's every single Sunday down there, Alabama. He's from Alabama, everybody. He's been up here. He's been in Florida, but he's been around 701 Nation. JD, hey, good to have JD on with us. Dan Brown over there in the Western Edge over there by Dickinson. So yeah, we're gonna, you know what? I was just in Dickinson, Dan. I had to make a quick trip up there and back, and I got to get back up there and drop a vehicle off. So yeah, I'll be over there. Titan, good to see you. Of course, Leon's in on his. He's using his wife's phone. What the heck? Titan says, "Slamp old tampon Timmy and idiot Mandini." Yeah, boy, we could get into that. We could have a 3-hour show tonight. Anyway, Gene Cox over there in the Mobridge area. So they got a big ice fishing tournament coming up. Wonder if they're going to have enough good ice to make that happen. I know there's some over there. I'm going ice fishing this weekend myself, but I had to go up north and east to find good ice. So I'll be traveling a little ways this weekend. Satan Wolf 13, he goes, okay. That's a new one to me. Gene says, I have a few Henry rifles. He says, I'm very pleased with it. I am too. I like my Henry rifles, Jared. They're smooth, they're accurate, they're nice looking, they function well, and you know, you just topped it off, and I was able to complete my collection. That was the big thing for me.
I had what's funny about the Henrys is I have had, like, I'm a big Browning BLR guy. I'm a big Browning BLR guy, and they're impossible to get at this point. Like a new one, they're just impossible to get. Well, Henry makes the Long Ranger. They make a Long Ranger Deluxe and a Long Ranger. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's even prettier version with I think it's Sportsman they call it.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, it's got, you know, animals for each caliber, so you got an antelope and all that. Okay. I've been looking for one of those guns for I would say for many years at this point. Well over the pandemic times, and I got into the gun business here, and I wasn't like, I was just kind of perusing one day, and I was looking at them, and I go, well, this is a good deal. And I'm like, well, I kind of want one. I'm like, I got to do a special on this. I got to get other people a deal on this. We bought them out of them. Run of them. Oh, yeah, we bought them out. We bought bought them out of them that day. So no, I think Henry's got a lot of, I mean, obviously they are a top tier brand. There's, millions. I'm assuming I don't have the, know the numbers, but there's millions of them out there, and people just keep going back to them. And I think it's great. But the big thing, kind of talking about that, we sell everything from the lowest end to the highest end. And that kind of comes back from the buyer in me, right? Like all of us guys that are even in guns, first and foremost, most gun dealers will tell you that they were a buyer. Like they're just as much as a buyer as it. I've got a really hard problem. One of these safes back here has a bunch of business guns in it that are kind of like, well, if it doesn't sell,
yep. And you showed me some of your personal ones. So
it's like, well, if it doesn't sell, it probably could end up in my name, and just fill out that form and move on,
It happens.
But I guess for me, my biggest thing before this business, just being a consumer, you'd find something, right? You'd see it in a magazine, you'd hear about it online, be listening to a podcast like this, someone would talk about a gun, and you would go into a dealer, ask them about it, and a lot of them will look at you cross-eyed because they just not like, they aren't making the margins on it. They aren't making the profit that they want to. I ain't about that. Like, I'm like, if I make $1 on the gun, I'm happy. You know what I mean? It's as long as I cover my costs on it and I can hook you up with what you've been looking for. I'm a happy man, because to me, most of my number one selling rifle caliber from JD, probably a 6.5 Creedmoor. And we've talked about this before. I am not a 6.5 Creedmoor guy, just because of the fact that, one of the bigger deers that I've shot in my life, I actually emptied the mag on the 6.5 Creedmoor and then still had to go back and get my 270 to actually get the deer, get the job done. And after that, I was done with the 6.5 Creedmoor. My wife, though, on the other hand, my wife, on the other hand, 400 yards with that 6.5 Creedmoor, no problem, but I just don't have the luck with it. 7 PRC is really popular. Actually, right now, 22 ARC. We have had probably 5 or 6 of them in the last couple weeks come through here, whether they were transfers or a lot of guys are coyote hunting. It's kind of that time of the year. A lot of guys are coyote hunting. That's a coyote round. All the coyote contests are going on, and tournaments and all that. So there's a lot of guys getting into those. So as far as big guns, that's one. Small guns, that's that. So
yeah, no, and you and I visited about that with when we were talking about guns, and I do have a couple 6.5 Creeds. I got nothing against the Creed. I know Jamie's had a Creed. I've got a Grendel that I built, kind of because Jamie had built a Grendel. I wanted to try one out, and of course, I just never get rid of my stuff, so it seems to accumulate.
Got that problem where it just starts collecting, right?
Yeah, if you look there, the stuff you can't see down there. So, anyway, but tell you what, great conversation so far. We'll come back here. Hey, Tom, good to see you. He's over there in the blue part of North Dakota, but I think we probably better say some thanks to our sponsors. We can't do it without them, and we will be right back after our great messages from these sponsors.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we're back. We were chatting there in the break, and thanks a lot, G. You might have made me spend some more money now. He mentioned the 41 Magnum, which I have a revolver. I love the 41 Mag. It's in a Ruger Blackhawk, and I had a lot of fun shooting that. And I just sent Jared a message, said, "So does Henry chamber that?" Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
He says, "I'll send you quotes tomorrow." Great.
Yep. I love. Here's the thing. The one thing that I love about this, because to me, for the longest time as a gun buyer, it was always about the search. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going out there, you're looking for something, that unicorn of a gun, right? That's something that maybe someone doesn't carry on the shelves. Your big box stores, your Shields of the world and Cabela's and all that doesn't carry it. You go to all these little gun shops all across the country. I remember we took a road trip to Texas a few years ago, and my wife and I were stopping at every gun store we could on the way down the time provided. To try and find a certain gun. And to me, half of it's the hunt. I always say we are more than willing to give quotes on things or look something up for somebody just to see what we could do for it, you know, just because, hey, you don't know, you might be able to get it cheaper. There might be something that we can get that someone else can't get. The cool thing is with us, one of the first things I did was got in good with a bunch of distributors, like basically all the ones, and even some of the guys that I know that, how did you get them? How you're new? How did you get into that?
I know a guy. David said, what most never know is when you unbox a new Golden Boy, it shines different the first time. Yeah. Hey, Tom, good to have you. I have you listen. Like I said, he's from the very blue part of North Dakota over there, but hey, he's holding the front lines. That's what we got to look at that. All them people in California, they're definitely on the front line of 2A issues. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
I'll put this up. Brian's been listening a long time. Thanks again, Brian, for staying in. He says, are you dealing optics also?
We do, yes. Some of the brands, specifically Vortex, like I held out a really long time with Vortex personally, like to get into that brand. Like when I was younger and stuff, I was like, I don't need Vortex, it's a cult or whatever, you know. And I'm a big fan. Their stipulations on selling them are a little bit stricter as far as like you got to spend, you know, $20,000 right off the bat and carry one of everything they have. But for the most part, we carry a lot of the other brands that are out there. We've had really good luck with Sig Sauer, Pulsar for thermal stuff. We've sold quite a bit of that. yeah, so there's options. If you're looking for something, feel free to reach out,
So Sig Sauer, are they the ones that make those stabilizing binoculars and their rangefinder or something like that? Maybe not.
I think so. I'm not that familiar with the brand.
Hey, Axe, I know Axe is listening. Remind me what brand that is you have, because those things are pretty cool, Jared. You pull them babies up, and there's no shaking at all. They're pretty cool things. They're spendy, but they're probably worth it, honestly. Like, I mean, on the dog towns, they were great.
When it comes to optics, that's the one thing. Like, you got to think about that. Your optics should be just as important, if not more important, than your gun. When it comes to especially like a hunting rifle and stuff, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as your lowest light shot when it comes to normal ones. Yeah, JD said yes on that. They
So Doug, yeah. See, I just have to ask. I don't really.
I was gonna say, I haven't dug too far into the brands on the optics because it's kind of hit and miss what people are looking for there. People get brand loyal. A lot of guys are Leupold guys. Some guys are Vortex, whatever it may be. I've had really good luck with bursts as well.
I love my bursts, especially my eliminators. I mean,
game changers are so cool. I don't have one.
And now the new ones. Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, the new ones now, from what I understand, I think it's the number 5.
Yeah, I believe they're on 5.
Now they have the Bluetooth capability so that you can take like a Kestrel, a wind meter, like we use when we're fighting fire, and they got Bluetooth them, and it'll feed into that scope now and give you the windage. It ain't a guess anymore. Oh.
At one point, we're just gonna, it's gonna be like laser guns. You just point and shoot. Yeah.
Hey, I was promised a laser gun by this time in history, and I'm very disappointed. All the movies said we'd have them by now.
Laser guns, flying cars, just technology does not keep up with what we want it to.
I've seen some cars that I guess you could kind of call them flying, but they're not. They're more of a hover, and they don't go very far. But I guess technically they exist.
Technically. We work on technical. Work in gray areas, technically.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine. Can you imagine what the regulations would be then? Oh my goodness. David says Eliminator 6. Maybe that's the one it was. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't have 4, 5, and 6, so I've got my 3, and I love that thing. They're too expensive. When I bought that, it was expensive. So
I'm getting to the point now in my mindset with like optics and stuff, when you start getting electronics involved into, like, I'm actually personally shopping for a thermal right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, we're kind of strapping a computer camera to the to the scope, and call me old school. It's like, but I'm still gonna do it.
And Jamie says Dukes of Hazzard had flying cars a long time ago. Yes, they did.
The landings were hard.
Man, they destroyed a lot of Chargers. Well, anyway, and Eric says I'm not a fan of Vortex, and I know he's not. Scopes, binoculars are pretty good. The Sig Sauer rangefinder I have isn't that great. Now, I can tell you this. I do like I have a Leupold rangefinder, just a simple one. Does the job, and it will go out to 1,000 yards, because it goes out beyond that. The 1,000's about its tipping, straight. Yep. To make it go beyond that, yes, it'll go beyond that. But the conditions got to be great. But it works best out. When I was putting up my 700-yard steel, I had no problem ranging in on that and finding it.
So I'm one of those guys that loses things a lot, might drop it and not find it, ends up in my pickup, gets lost and all the junk and all that. A couple, like, it'd been probably over a year ago at this point. I'm on TikTok on the Radio Fish. If they sent me a sample of a rangefinder, and it's one of those cheap $45 rangefinders that they have on there.
Okay.
And I was like, well, yeah, we'll send it. We'll look at it and do whatever, use it at the range or whatever, just to make sure that where we're at is roughly it. And you want to know what? For $45, if I'm going to lose it, it's not a bad investment. That wouldn't, if I were on a once in a lifetime hunt or, doing something at a competition, I'm not using that. But if I'm trudging around at a range or like a public range somewhere, trying to make sure my shot is, 300 yards or 100 yards or whatever it may be, that'll work. It's not the greatest thing, but I'm a big believer. It's just like everything else, gun brands, optic brands. It's what works for you. We talk a lot about pistols, because certain, every guy's got something to say about every brand, whether it be Glock, Springfield, everyone's, it's an opinion thing. You know what they say about opinions.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that when it comes to pistols in particular, or really any gun, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be $100 gun. It can be $100,000 gun. I don't care. As long as it fits you and you're comfortable with it, that's the battle that you need to choose. I'm not gonna shame you for buying a $70 scope if that's what works for you.
It's kind of like when people would always come to me, I'm looking for a concealed carry for my wife. What should I get? I don't know. What has she shot? What has she done? I always told them the best way to figure that out, especially when I was maybe even instructing, go to these places. Bismarck's got a lot of the bigger towns do, where you can rent a gun or try out a gun or find some friends that have them and try them out. See which one fits you and you can shoot best. Because what I shoot best is not what my wife shoots best. And that's the best way to find the handgun that's going to be a good concealed carry, but yet be proficient for the user. And that's probably the most important. If they can't shoot it, what good is it?
And for me, like in particular, I really lean towards like Springfields and Smith & Wessons. There's just something like these fat sausage fingers that I got. They just seem to fit a little bit better in those, like everything just fits better. And Beretta really has some, their APX line. I know it's cheap. Don't knock it until you've held it. Those seem to fit my hand really well as well. But I gotta say, like, it comes down to comfort, because even if you're just blinking at the range, and this isn't a carry gun, you know what I'm saying? It's still something you got to feel comfortable with. I know a buddy of mine who went and bought an LCP or Ruger LCP, their little micro pocket. Yeah, familiar. I've got one. I got one because I had some Shields credit that I had to use at one point in time, and it just fit the credit. It fit the spending that I needed.
They're not a bad gun.
They're not a bad gun, but for someone like me, and when I saw that, I was like, they're a good gun, but like for me, that's probably not where I would start.
No. Well, you've seen what I carry for a concealed carry anymore. It's my North American Arms 22 Magnum revolver. I can put it in my Gerber pouch. Nobody even thinks about it, and it's always there. And I can go into areas where maybe they don't welcome you there.
Yeah,
and I'm fine with that. If I open carry, I love my Springfield. I've shot that probably the most out of anything. I got a Smith that I love, and I've got some Glocks, but my favorite is probably my Smith. And that's chambered in a 10 millimeter. I just love shooting that gun. So I gotta address this. So you guys are talking about thermals here. So Little Angry Man Arms down there. John says the Knockpicks Bolt 35. They're good thermal for not much coin. And I seen the discussion here. Not much coin. He says they're under $2,000. So that's not
a good
bad.
deal. That's a good deal.
Any thermal under $2,000 that has some quality. So John, great. You guys are just going to try to make me spend money there. I could buy a thermal and put it on that.
You're letting the two gun dealers influence. That's that's what we're here for.
Look at this way. Little Angry Man Arms, a sponsor. I'd love to buy from him. And then you and I talked, and at some point maybe, and I understand that not everybody can do it off the bat, but I'm hoping someday we can have a great business arrangement.
Yeah,
I know that it'll be good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I definitely like I like being involved in your guys' here. I think having local conversations about the Second Amendment industry and what's going on and locally and nationally on a local level is such a big thing, because if you aren't talking about it, if you aren't saying what's kind of in the back of everyone's head, no one knows. It's something that's got to be out there. And I think these programs with 701 Nation does a really good job. 701 Guns in the 701 does a really good job about that. So
we're that niche. I mean, when we started doing this, Jamie and I, we kind of were like, there's nothing out there. Nobody's talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
You saw it somewhere. You might read it in some articles, but you never saw anybody doing it. You had a ton of gun shows on YouTube, shooting, and then the outdoor channels, the variety of them. Showed hunting, but mostly talking. They didn't do much hunting. And then they were, you know what I mean? And nobody was doing what we were doing. And now we've spread out. I mean, I'm really thrilled as to where things are going and what we're covering now. So we cover it all. If you want politics, we got it, legislation. And I like showcasing, we all do. I love showcasing local firearms dealers, local gun shops, whatever it might be. Now, I will tell you too, my rangefinder, I forgot I bought the other one too. I bought that from David. That's an Athlon. Now, I don't know if you've ever used any Athlon stuff. I love it. It works great. I've even looked through some of his glass. And for the money, looks like pretty damn good glass for the money.
So I would say 2018, 19, somewhere in there. That was kind of on the cusp of when I decided to start using some Vortex things and all that, but I was looking for something else. I was like, I wasn't really liking what Leupold was doing at the time, and I was looking at other brands, and I fell down a rabbit hole, as one does on the internet, and came across this Althon Optics, and I started
Althon, there you go.
And then we ran into, I want to say, I don't know if it was Pheasants Forever Pheasant Fest, or it was one of these convention things, and they were there, and they had some of their products on the table, and we were looking at them, and I was fairly impressed. So I went and bought this scope. I don't even know which. I was hoping it had a thing because it's sitting over here, and it never made it on the gun. The gun, yeah, the gun. That gun is still sitting in one of these safes behind me, and has never been shot. It's just like I again, ADHD brain went, and all of a sudden, it was the next big thing, and it never ended up on the gun. And I was just thinking about it. It's funny that you bring it up, just because just the other day I was like, I should mount that now that I've got all the equipment to do that. I don't have to take it somewhere and deal with that. So I'm probably going to do that.
You know what you should do? You should mount it on that gun, and then on the 17th, go up there to Dougie's range for the steel challenge and just win.
Everyone will tell you this, unless it's a shotgun. I'm a terrible shot.
That's okay. That's okay. You know what? It's just a lot of fun going to them shoots. It's just,
yeah.
Okay. So let's see. A little angry man. He's got, as much as I know he doesn't like Glock for what they did when they kissed the crown with their new Gen 6s. He says they are pretty sweet. Yeah, they're Austrian made, so that doesn't surprise me.
It's funny about that because I am also not a big Glock fan. I'm like, I got opinions,
but I own several.
I got opinions. I'm not going to get into it, but I will say this about Glock: you can put the dirtiest ammunition in it, that gun will fire every time. Like I have never had an issue.
I've never had any issue or failures with my Glocks. I mean, they are durable. There's no doubt about it. Or as I call them, blocks. They're just for handling. I don't like the way they feel at all.
Yeah, they're kind of clunky. I mean, they don't fit my hand. I know I've got some friends who are in the law enforcement industry, and they're trainers and all this as well, and they carry them, and they've got good things to say. It's funny because they don't. The one in particular that I'm thinking of that I talked to about the 6 coming out, he's a Glock fan, doesn't like what they did to the Glock as it came out. It's going to be a love-hate relationship. I haven't had one in my hand, one of the new ones in my. Well, I guess they haven't even shipped yet. I don't think. Maybe they have. I haven't had one in my hands yet, so I'm gonna reserve my judgment. I think they look okay. It's still a Glock. You know what I mean? They're no frills, no thrills. They are what they are.
So Josh says the grip angle sucks on a Glock. I agree. Maybe that's what it is. I just don't care for them. I've never had any issues. I've never had them jam, even with the crappiest ammo.
Yeah.
But I just would rather shoot my Smith or shoot my Springfield. They just feel better in my hand.
So when I first got into reloading, the first thing that I went and reloaded, I did the one thing that you never do when you reload is reload a bunch of it. Mm-hmm. I went and reloaded 100 rounds of 9mm. And I still, all these years later, I still don't know what I did wrong. But I could, in all my 9mm pistols, I could not get that ammo to cycle. A few years later, I bought a Glock because I got one of those chassis, micro kits and all that, and had 50-round drums on it. And I was like, I should just see. And that ammo, that 100 rounds went really quick.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if it can cycle that, no other 9mm that I own can. It's all right in my books.
John says, we're Glock stocking dealers. I love them, but recent decisions made me change that stance. And I know what he's talking about. I think we all do. I know we
absolutely
covered it. In fact, I think I covered it even on Mitchell in the Morning. So Leon says, F Glock. Justin says, as far as Glocks are concerned, the only ones that fit my hand are the single stack 9mm. So
Yeah.
Dogs don't chew on 1911s. Love it, David.
What, you don't like the Tupperware guns?
Oh my goodness. Josh says they are reliable, but I like my Hellcat. It's never given me any issues ever. I've got thousands and thousands of rounds. Yeah, the Hellcat's a nice gun too.
My funny story about the Hellcats was, since they came out, I've wanted one. The problem is, you know, I got a wife. It's in my ear like, well, you don't shoot pistol as much as you shoot rifle and shotgun and all this, right? And you got a whole, you know, wall of them. So I kind of held off. And then when we got our FFL, one of our distributors was doing a really good sale on them. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll probably order one this weekend. We went to a Ducks Unlimited banquet, and they got it out. It had a Crimson Trace optic on it and all that, red dot. And it was this really pretty green. It was like a limited edition duck thing, but it wasn't like in your face that it was Ducks Unlimited. There's just a little logo on it. I went to my wife. I'm like, how much should I spend on it? Should I just, you know, buy out the raffle? Because, and she goes, no, you can buy one for a lot cheaper. So I went and bought 2 cards for this thing. Won it. I was so happy. I was telling someone, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars in gun raffles trying to win things and card games and whatever, all these things that all these organizations do. In my lifetime, I've spent so much money on raffles. It took me until I was 30 years old to win my first gun in a raffle.
Oh, wow.
And then that night I won 2. So
wow. Well, that's pretty good. I got to give a shout out to everybody. We are tipping almost 100 on everything. I just checked all the numbers and on the other stuff here, and between all of it, yeah, that's pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a good return. Anyway,
I'm sorry everyone's listening to me and not someone more important, but you'll get it.
This is important. Your local FFL dealer. Like I said, I love promoting the locals. You know, like you got John is down there a little angry. You're over here up there in Carson. I just love David's got 1760 Sports. I mean, these are all local FFL dealers. They don't have brick and mortar stores. They got other jobs. Them are the guys I trust. Them are the guys I do business with. I do not generally go to the big box stores. Unless I really need something right now, I don't go there.
There's like my biggest deal, and I kind of told you this too. My biggest thing is to find someone the best deal possible. So if it isn't me, I'm going to tell you that it's not me. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had a guy call me today and was looking for a very specific 223 ammo. And I said, you know, this is what my price would be. It is going to be better for you to go somewhere else. Like it's going to be too high. I don't want to, you know, mess up your thing. I don't want to lose your trust. So when it comes to all of this, I would love at the end of the day to get every sale, but I feel just as good letting you know that you got a good deal and you're willing to come back with me and trust me over and over again for future sales. Right.
Right. Well, and I guess I don't get so much loyal to a brand when you're talking optics and things like that.
Yeah.
I do get loyal to the guys I do business with. And if they treat me good, I will come back. I mean, I know darn well when I had, you know, especially if they sponsored a show or they, you know, maybe even bought cattle from me, I'm going to go to them first. And for me, I guess I'm blessed enough. I don't really have to worry if I have to pay a little more, if I can support them.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that some of us can do that. And that's what we need to do. We need to support them local guys. And I do my best to do it.
And, you know, kind of, I'd said when we first came up with this idea of 701 Arms, first thing I was a little bit worried because I knew who you guys were. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't quite sure what your fingers were all dipped into, if any of you guys were FFL dealers and all that. So I went out and it was actually a collaboration thing. When we probably would have had our FFL 3 or 4 months sooner if we could have came up with a name quicker. And like we had all the Three Rivers and Nodak and like all these names came up. And one night we were sitting talking to one of my friends and he goes, why not 701 Arms? And I go, that is definitely taken. I said, those guys with guns in the 701, I said, I bet you they own all the names for anything gun related in North Dakota with that 701 moniker. And I went and looked with the state and I was like 701 Arms, 701 Firearms, 701 Sporting Goods. I'm like, well, we're going to nab up all those quick, get all the web domains and all that. So that was kind of the first mindset. After that, like I said, our whole thing was to focus local, focus on the North Dakota guys. A lot of you guys that we're in Carson, obviously, so we're a hop, skip, and a jump away from South Dakota. So what we can sell to the South Dakota guys, we'd love to sell whatever we can to you. Obviously, no pistols, but long guns and stuff.
And you can do a pistol. You just got to transfer it to FFL down there.
To our boy down there in South Dakota in Trail City, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. John, I tell you what, see, John can handle all the South Dakota transfers if you buy from.
And it's funny, I believe me and him talked about that one of the first times. Me and him were Snapchatting back and forth today. So scheming up ideas, right? So talking about products, but one of the big things was to support local charities and things like that, doing raffles. So if anyone's a part of an organization, whether it's charitable gaming or, your local fire department, we are all about that. We've already done a few of them, a few giveaways and things like that. It takes the liability off these organizations for us doing the paperwork and doing things legally and making sure that everything's, all the P's and Q's are dotted. So
especially in North Dakota, especially doing raffles, I've never seen crazier laws, honestly, when it comes to gaming and raffles than in this state.
Yep.
I grew up in South Dakota when I was doing banquets. You know what we do in South Dakota? Nothing. If we want to do a raffle, we just do it. There's nothing barring you. You're supposed to, as a courtesy, let the county know. But as a whole, there's no state laws really. And really there's no enforcement that a county can do or even a local entity. So it's wide open. It's unless you're doing gaming, say like what they're doing in Deadwood, that all changes. But as far as nonprofit organizations doing raffles, churches, NRA Foundation, whatever you want, no big deal. So I got to throw that out there. Leon says, 2A701. That's right. That's Leon's, and he's had that for a long time. Now he's a part of the Guns and 701 Network, Blackbeard Logic. But you know what? We're all on the same team.
Yep.
Plain and simple. We're all on the same team, and that's a lot of people don't understand that, and that's why when people, everyone really, Jamie, I know you're still listening. You can't believe how many people think that Jamie and I got into a fight. We did not. We're good. I need to clear that because we're good. Like I said, in fact, I'm going to probably stop it when I roll through there on Friday, and I'm going to drop some stuff off for the steel shoot. Yeah, I mean. That is not what's going on here. So just so everybody knows that. And if Jamie's able to go make a show, have at it, man. I mean, I wish him the best on any of that. So anyway, I just wanted to clear that because I just had a text come in there saying it again. Address it right now. Anyway, so what? Let's top of the hour. Let's take another quick break, and we'll come back. And who knows what rabbit hole will go down? But this has been good. I think you know what. We're just going to take a break. That's all I can say. That's the way to do this. And we'll come back because there is so much involved in local dealers, local optics, local businesses as a whole. So, all right, we will be right back after.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where Lemmons go. Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we are back again. Thanks to Lauer Auto Repair. I tell you what, Doug and them guys, they do fantastic work. I've had them do some things for me right there. He's been with us since the very beginning. We're going into our third year. Believe that already? Wow. Anyway, I guess I can't say enough about Axe and the boys down there. You want to stop at 309 South Washington Street, 701-258-6308. Hit them up, have some fun, get your car fixed. And hey, by the way, Axe, I think I'm going to stop in there. I want to see Jamie on Friday, but I think I'm going to stop in there about that engine. I want to bring you a few things on that pickup. And yeah, so see, I do business with my sponsors. And why wouldn't I? Why? They're the best ones we got. By the way, let's see, got to point that way. There's a GAT701 subscribe. Go ahead and hit that QR code and subscribe. Give us a little love over there. You can support us, make it a monthly reoccurring. I don't know about you, but I've spent $5 a month way dumber than that doing something like that. So anyway, Jamie says, Clay and I are still brothers. There we go. See, I like Doug though. He says, how's South Dakota about starting luring centers? You probably have to check out. You probably have to clear it with walls though first, so he gets his cut. Yeah. He says, Don says, I don't let anyone know when we do raffles because then some asshat would want to tax you. So speaking of that, I don't go off subject, but so when I was doing NRA stuff, there is a federal tax on this. Can you believe this stuff? So if it was over $599, then we had to have them guys fill out the W9, I think that's what it was, and send that in, and they got taxed on their prize at the fair market value. You kidding me?
Yep.
Yeah. So
what's funny is in that blue state over there that we've got to the east, when you play pull tabs and you get whatever is considered one of their, I like to gamble. If they're telling you what I've spent on raffles over the years on guns wasn't enough. On the pull tabs there, when you pull like one of the larger prizes, it doesn't have like anything, whatever their board is. I think 50 is usually where it starts. Okay. You have to fill out the W9G or whatever it is for them. Even if it's like 50 or 100, we're the cutoff now. Well, now they update to like $2,000 this year in 2026. But before it was like $1,200 or $199.99 or whatever it was the last however long. But I just find that wild that they're making people fill out tax forms for little things like that. It's one thing if it's $1,000 cash prize, right? But
unbelievable. You know. Well, and I've known guys that went to Vegas, and some of these guys, they had the coin to spend, and they could actually, they went enough that they could actually deduct their losses as a bit, as a job, professional gambler against their winnings. Now, I've never done that. I don't do that much. So yeah. Hey guys over in Rumble, thanks for tuning in. My numbers are pretty strong over there. We got 2 channels over there, and I'm not going to go into why we have 2 because, well, we didn't know what we were doing at first on Rumble because it was so complicated, and so now we have 2 over there. So
double the reach.
yes, yeah. So thanks for tuning in over there. If you guys got messages there, go ahead and just leave it. I am monitoring it. I might not get to it right away, but we'll definitely read it. So, all right. So we've covered optics. So what
So
would you
let's
say?
talk-
Which ones do you say you're handling? SIG?
I mean, we do a lot of SIG sour stuff, and then for thermals, it's been a lot of Pulsar stuff that's been going out. But I mean, we there's a little bit of everything. Burris is a good brand. We do some of that. We've sold some of the we've sold at least one of the Eliminator 6s, maybe one of the 5s. But it's very interesting to see, like you said, people or like we talked about, people are brand loyal. They'll go and look for exactly what they want a lot. And what's going to be cool about us in the coming future, and I kind of led into it, I want to talk about how we're very local orientated. And I don't want people to get that confused because of what is coming in the coming months. 701 Arms is going to be expanding a little bit here. There's some things that have happened in our lives that has given us the opportunity to take this to another level. And basically what it is we've teamed up with one of the co-founders and former CEO of AmmoReady.com. And a lot of people who are in the gun industry will recognize that name, to kind of take us to the next level. We kind of fell backwards into a contest and ended up winning a whole web suite setup. And like I said, my background is in marketing. So our website, what we have is what I built to this point. But we are going to go worldwide, as they say, at least countrywide, minus a few states. We'll be changing this. What you see there is probably going to change in the coming.
Yeah, I'll show you your website right now.
Go check it out. We added another reason to go check it out right now is we added a bunch of used stuff here last night. I took in some used stuff. Some of the stuff on there is on consignment. So the prices, if you look at it, you go, well, that seems a little high or something like that. It's consignment. Maybe we can work it out with you a little bit, but there's a lot of good things on there. But we will be working with a very nationally recognized person in the industry. We had our first meeting today about it. So we will be launching a full e-commerce store, just like your Midway USAs and your, I'm thinking other brands out there, your Battlehawk Armories, your classic firearms, all that will be very similar. You can see everything that we have available to us at our price, and hopefully we can get some good deals. I'll tell you this for all of you that are listening, there's always credit card fees and things that are involved when you get to that level. If there's something you see and you're kind of local, it doesn't hurt to call me. The deals might be a little bit better. Just remember that. But you'll be able to see everything that we have available at our fingertips. And we're really excited for it. It's going to be
here. Beretta APX A1 9mm Wolf Gray, $299. I mean,
that is one of my favorite pistols that we have on hand right now. I think it is one of the coolest things. They say it's
Doug Wolf X. Doug Wolf needs a Wolf Gray Beretta.
There you go. So yeah, then the Glenfields. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I remember you showing me these. Yes.
Let's talk about Glenfield. Yes. I'm a big Ruger fan myself. And Ruger has done a lot of the Marlin brand. I'm a big lever action. The older that I get, I'm into double barrels, revolvers, and lever actions. Glenfield is a brand that basically, I don't know what our audience is out here, but it basically was like a JCPenney brand. It was kind of a store brand. Budget friendly, came with some Cadillac features, little creature comfort things. And Ruger acquired it in a part of the buyout when they bought Ruger, when Ruger bought like Marlin and all that, a part of the Remington sell-off. This is one of the brands that they got under their belt. Well, as most of our listeners probably know by now, the Gen 2s for Ruger are very popular. We've had a lot of those. It's one of the guns that's in our raffle with the guys at the fire department here in Carson. We think that they're awesome. I guess I think it's awesome. I think what Ruger has done with the Gen 2 is making brands like Savage and other brands have to step up Browning. But these Glenfield Model A's, it's basically a Ruger Gen 1, but it's threaded, and it's even cheaper than a Ruger Gen. I mean, it's cheaper than your average Ruger Gen 1. So they've got a little bit of creature comfort features. The only weird thing, and I know you held one when you were here, the stock is a textured thing, and the green, it doesn't do it justice in the picture.
It really doesn't.
It really doesn't. It's a cool green. They're cool guns for the price point of what they are. We had a coyote hunt do it as part of their raffle or their prize. I can't remember if it was part of the raffle or the prize.
Better look at it.
But we did that, and we were one of the first gun dealers in the country to get our hands on ones in stock to be stocking for them.
And
so
you've only got 243s, right? I can't remember.
I've got 243 left. That's all my other ones have been gone out the door. It was funny. I was just talking to a distributor today. They're like, well, have you got anything that was kind of hard to find since you've been new? And I've got a handful of things that I have.
Yeah, you've got a couple things in there.
I got a couple things. Well, a lot of them sold, but this one in particular, I said, well, I got a handful of these Glenfield Model A's. And they go, how'd you get those? And I go, I literally watched the countdown go as they were going. And then I got fear of missing out and went and bought some of them. And right after that, got a phone call from my distributor. He goes, you realize you're one of the X amount of dealers in the country that got those. And cool. So, but yeah, no,
Brian asks, are they a rotary mag?
They're the standard Ruger mag. I believe it is a rotary style where they go in levels. They're nice guns. I haven't shot one yet, but I've handled the one that there's enough because everyone who comes by I show it to. I think they're really cool. I like that it's not just everyone in the comments when they released it said, yeah, it's just a Ruger Gen 1. It is, but it isn't. There's some extra stuff on it. The stock is completely, I mean, it's similar, it's obviously the same blown mold plastic polymer thing, but the texture of it, the color of it.
So really I can tell you when I was holding that, I mean, I thought it was a nice gun, honestly. And the price point, you ain't going to beat that for getting it. And it's threaded. It's ready to rock and roll. The texture is, I don't know. I liked it, I guess. And I don't know. I thought it was a nice gun for the money. Especially if you're starting out, I could see that being your first gun you give to your son or your daughter.
Absolutely.
Maybe your wife's new to hunting. There's your gun. That's your gun. It really is.
It was funny. My wife, so we got in some 6.5 Creedmoors, and like I said, that's kind of her caliber now. She really likes it. She can handle it. It's got a lot of knockdown power for what it is.
Yeah.
And when we end up selling that one, she goes, I'm a little bit disappointed. And I go, why? She goes, I was excited for that to be my gun. I wanted to have a suppressed hunting rifle like you do.
Yeah.
So no, they're really nice. But yeah, so the big thing going forward, we'll still have all the local service you want. You don't see something you like, you still call me, because when it comes to this e-commerce stuff, some things are limited that you aren't going to be able to see. But we're moving into the next step of growing, and we're really excited about it because we can bring that local service and kind of that small town, Carson's, 250 people.
Well,
we want to be able to bring that to a bigger audience. And also our local guys, it serves you a lot better because you don't have to call me, text me. You still can, you're still more than welcome to, but you can just go and look at, hey, this is what we have. This is kind of the price. And like for local guys, it does not hurt to give me a call because sometimes the deals are better. If I'm in a good mood, we're selling guns, right?
Well, you and I talked about one in particular one, and I just this Ivor Johnson, and I just I like niche guns, and I mean, come on, an AR shotgun.
It is crazy. They actually today,
I mean, $250 is what you marked at,
and like
I should just swing in there Friday and get it. But
they're just a cool gun. That's the thing. Like some of the stuff that we've been finding are cool. There's ATI. That's a lot of people know them for their ARs, their Alpha Max. That they have, but they make a shotgun. It's it's somewhere in there. That's that pointer. That's a little bit different deal. Yeah. But these they make those, and they're so cool just because of the price point.
Oh yeah, that Weatherby. That's a nice gun too.
That Weatherby is a nice gun. I'm hoping that
beautiful gun.
I want to sell guns. I'm in business to sell, but that's the one that I'm kind of.
I know you want that one.
I've been humming and hawing over things. That was actually a limited run for this quarter 4 that they did, and that was it. But anyways, so
did I go buy another shotgun? I don't remember.
Go up there, right there.
There it is,
at
right
ATL
there,
Calvary. So what's cool about that is it's a 12 gauge over under shotgun that has ejectors in it. So you crack it open, it shoots them over your shoulder. Like I have I have one that I bought for myself, and then I have one that is the precursor to this gun where it just has the ejectors. And we have been super impressed by it. I actually had a phone call with ATI. American Tactical is the company yesterday and today about becoming a stocking dealer for them, because everybody that we've got hands on their products, they're a little bit lower cost, right? They're imports and all that, but they are really like what they're putting out for the price point, you can't go wrong. They're good truck guns at that price, you know.
Oh yeah, that's just it. That price is just insane on that.
Yeah, I mean, they're really good stuff. So I guess for us,
It's a nice looking gun.
A lot of this stuff, I mean, it's going to be big because this is what you're seeing that I have on hand in our stockpile here right now. But in the future, you'll be able to see anything that you can order from us, anything, most anything that we can get in. It makes it a little easier when it's local. You know, there's other things that I can get you that I can't put out there because of, you know, certain brands have limits and stuff, like Browning and Winchester have a limit of what you can put out there, or certain optic brands. But it's still about giving that hometown feel, but giving you the opportunity to buy anything that you could buy anywhere else on the internet, you know, and make it still a local business that can service you, that you can come and pick it up. And you know, if you have questions, comments, you want to scope mount it to it, whatever it may be, we can help you out. So that's the big thing, and kind of our dedication to service and all this.
Well, I think Dougie's going to buy this Beretta. He says, to be fair, I have yet to be a Beretta guy, but I'd need to be convinced. But at that price, I'd give it a try. There you go. You know where Carson is.
I think Beretta. Beretta one, they're celebrating what is their 500th anniversary. I think that's their big thing. Yeah, this year, and they've introduced a lot of cool things, and they're talking about their history and things. This might be an unpopular opinion. I'm sure I'm going to rile someone up in here. I think that right now in the market of shotguns, I've shot $30,000 shotguns all the way to $100 Hatfields. And I will tell you this, I think right now in the market, the best bang for your buck is a Beretta shotgun, an A300 or an A400. It's probably an unpopular opinion to people. I know people that don't like them. I like I said, I am very much a shotgun guy. I love shooting trap. But I think at this point in time, I've shot not all of them, but most of them.
I got a Beretta sitting over here because so I'm an anomaly. Maybe I have one of everything. It seems like.
Yeah,
but
I think when it comes to semi-automatics, A300, A400, best shotgun on the market in my mind. When it comes
was
to
that the one that old Tampon Tim was trying to run? I can't remember.
Oh, maybe.
Our governor
that probably
got
was
Jamie, and she was showing him how to do it properly. It was great.
I think
Kelly on again.
I think those are good. I think pump shotguns right now, you can't beat Winchester prices right now on pump action shotguns. If you go look, anyone out there, even on our website, there are some good deals to be had, especially with some of the rebates that have been out there. Doug, get an A3. I waited a long time. I went to all the shooting demos and all that, the big box stores when they do the demos and brands and all that. The first one that I ever shot was at a Ducks Unlimited event in Dallas, Texas, or in Houston, or San Antonio, Dallas. It was Dallas, Texas. I had to think about where we were for that a few years ago. That was when Savage introduced the Renegade. And we went out, and I had never shot one before. And I went out, I'm like, oh, I really like this. And then I did it over and over again to the point where I'm like, I don't know why I don't own one of these. So finally, I got one of those. I think they're very good for what they are. The price point, you can't go wrong. It's quality. It's Beretta. I mean, there's a reason Beretta has been around as long as it has. And I think just good stuff. And I believe their A3, at least their A300 line is made in America. They're made in Georgia.
Okay, yeah. I was just reading some of the comments here, and
there's some good ones.
Yeah, it was the same one that Tampon Tim was trying to load. Yeah, so Doug says, "Yep, maybe we can work out a deal with the Gray Wolf pistol." Yeah, there you go. So I'll send your number to him, then he'll have it.
Absolutely. There's been
Sorry, John. It's South Dakota, a little angry man in arms down there, and this is North Dakota, and Doug's the North. It's easier that way.
Hey, we can all work it out. We can all be friends, right?
So, yeah, we're like I said, we're all on the same team.
I think what's good for one is good for most, right? So it's especially. So I don't really view him as competition. He is where he is, and I'm where I'm at, and we can make it all work, right? It isn't like we're in each other's backyards, and I think he does a good job. I've followed him for many months now, and I think
John's a good guy. Yeah, I can tell you, been there too, and it's just like your place. You go to his place. Think about this too. When you're going into the local FFL dealers, a lot of time you're going to these people's homes, so be respectful of that, like you would anybody else's property, but it also builds that relationship as it would as a landowner trying to hunt. To me, yeah. I mean, it doesn't get any more real than knowing your FFL dealer like that. And I think people miss out on that when they go to the big box store. They just don't get what that's about either. That's my opinion.
There's a lot of, like, obviously being a gun guy, you go in, like, a lot of guys go into all the stores, right? You go in the big box stores. When we lived in Fargo, it was cool because you could go from everything from someone as a home-based FFL all the way up to your Shields, right? Your Cabela's,
Right.
if you went down to the cities or Grand Forks. And it was cool to see kind of the different vibes of it. There's one store, I'll shout them out, Outdoorsman in West, or in Fargo. And those guys, you know, they're very, they're like you, me, and everyone else in this conversation tonight. They're very passionate, and I gotta give them a shout out. I took a lot of the mentality of how we do business from the way that they do business because of how helpful and how just their mentality towards guns. It wasn't
Right.
like, oh, this isn't good enough because you're not buying, you know, a $1,200 rifle with a scope and all this. You know, if you went in there and said, well, I'm looking for a $300 Savage, you know, they weren't looking at you sideways, or you're looking for, you know, a $299 Beretta pistol or
Very
Taurus or
much
something like
commission on those.
yeah. Like I said, at the end of the day, the nice thing about this is, like you said, we have day jobs and things like that. What's really nice about our business, since I got my wife on board, talked her into it, right? And she actually, up until very recently, I'd gotten a lot of the guys who have FFLs, that have concealed carries. And in North Dakota, when you have a concealed carry, it makes the whole process a little easier. She was the one that ended up having to do all the next checks and all that, where I just had to go in the North Dakota system and make sure their concealed carry was good. So I think it was like right before you, I had one come in and I'm like, oh, I actually have to run a next check. But we're very welcoming. We're here most of the time. If I'm not here, my wife's here, and both of us could take care of your needs. I mean, when it comes to these guns, we were both very knowledgeable. She knows how to do the paperwork, and it works out because then pretty much any time, the real thing is there's a lot of people around here, farmers, ranchers, people that work up in the mines and the oil field that might get home, you know, 9, 10 o'clock at night. We actually had a guy come the one night at 10:30. You know, he's like, are you okay? Like, can I come pick up this gun that I want to? Absolutely. Come on by. You know, I'm sorry. He was working in the field. They were combining. He got done. He goes, is there any way I can pick it up? Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
Well,
you know,
it's just like John down there, Little Angry Man. Very accommodating. You were the same way. Very accommodating. We worked out when I was going to be up there, and it worked out great.
Yeah.
Same thing that John's playing. Well, David's the same way over there at 1760 over in Mandan. You know, like I said, you guys this isn't your full-time job. So, you know, there's going to be some scheduling involved, but there's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, you genuinely find out, like you and me, we sat there then and BS for I don't know how long.
Yep.
And I got to know you. And to me, that's just part of the process. I've made more friends in hunting and shooting than probably anything.
Well, it's just like these programs that you guys do. It's like-minded people. Like, you're not going after, you know, the Karens from Minneapolis, right? You're not going for those people. You're going for like-minded people who want to see this. And usually if you get into the thing where, you know, you're a gun guy, you're a hunting guy, you're going to find like-minded people, especially at those places that aren't selling Fitbits. And you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the problem with big box stores. You remember back in the day when Dick's Sporting Goods came into Bismarck, they sold firearms and all that. Well, their business mindset was a little not so pro 2A, different, we'll call it that. And they got rid of the guns and all that. It shows where they're like the Lauer Auto thing says, you want to do business with someone who has the same mentality as you, has the same values.
Absolutely.
So it's important to support those local businesses, whether it's me, whether it's, you know, John, whoever it may be. You need to support them because really these,
like this here, okay? Horton LaserCraft, they live literally about maybe 6 miles from me here, and I got to know them. We become very good friends before we did business together. And then I say, well, why don't you come on board? I started doing he's a veteran. His wife is a veteran. They're fantastic people. They're 2A, I mean, to the core. and their ideology aligns with the same people we all hang out with. And I'd rather do business with them people. And they do shoot me a really good deal.
And those are some pretty sharp looking tumbler. You know,
oh my goodness.
This is like one of the only times that I've sold something and someone brought me a gift, you know. Like, I got one of those and I just love them. They look sharp. I know being in the industries that I've been in the past, you know, a lot of people who do that kind of stuff. And there's a difference between someone who knows what they're doing and someone who doesn't. And looking at the product that they've put out for you guys, it looks so good.
So you'll love this. Now I'm getting pins made in the same coloring. I didn't even know they existed. I'm not saying I'm a snob or stuck up, but I like classy things, and these look classy. And by the way, John, down there in Trail City, I have one of these for you. We kind of were basically out of them. I made a new order, so I'll have one here in the next couple weeks from my sponsor, my other two sponsors that don't have them yet.
There, I wouldn't got you in trouble, huh?
No, I actually had that planned anyway. I started giving these out, and especially to our sponsors, because they're just cool looking, I think.
Yeah. And so I mean, it's all about, like you said, same mentality, same team. You gotta even, like I said, if I lose business to John, that's fine. If I lose, to 18, I can't remember the name, 17. The numbers are the number.
1760.
The numbers don't work in the brain, right? No, like even them, it's we're all on the same team. If we can promote firearms and promote responsible gun ownership and all that, getting guns to the right people, awesome.
And David, he's coming on board. He's going to be a new host on here with 701 Marksman. I'm looking forward to that, because I'm not. I mean, I've shot long range, but I am not the precision shooter that he is by no means. And it's going to be very interesting to watch his show. And he's probably got more knowledge in his head than I've probably forgotten. You know what I mean?
You can sit and talk to these guys who are long range shooters.
Oh my goodness! And
the mentality of what they put into their firearms, into their optics, into what they do is completely different than me or you shooting a deer at 20, 30, you're 100 or 200 yards, you know what I mean? Or more.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, that little bit off, that'll be fine. I don't gotta,
it's it is. I mean, the only thing I get pretty precise on is my prairie dog gun. Jamie can attest an axe. I can drill dogs out there with that Swift. I mean, that's my baby. My 220 Swift. That is my prairie dog killer. That's kind of what I made it for.
We got really early. Speaking of prairie dogs, I got into the 17 HMR thing really early. Mm-hmm. And I've got one that I don't know what the serial numbers are really low on it. Okay. And I've been a big fan of that round. The only the problem with that is when we had ammo shortages like we did during the pandemic, gets hard to find, gets expensive to find, luckily we were smart enough. We bought a couple cases of it because we kind of saw the writing on the wall. But I don't know. I wish in my mentality, like in my head, and I know Savage kind of brought it back a little bit. I don't know if they still make it, but the 222 Remington, I wish that round would, because I think that would be a pretty cool suppress.
I have one. I have a 222 Remington. I load for it, so I can still.
I've got you can kind of find the ammo. I actually was this is going to make me sound, I like to rummage sale, and we were at a rummage sale, and these people had just those Quaker State oil boxes, if you remember those. Full of boxes of 222. I don't own a 222. I like the round, just never had one. I remember my grandma back in the day had one. I think it's a cool round. I like the design of it. It's old school. I think it's funny because when we went to this, I look in there, I'm like, oh, it's brass, looking at it. And there were a couple loaded ones here and there. And I'm like, well, what would you want for this? And they go, well, just give me like $2 for the whole box.
Oh, geez.
Couldn't get my wallet out. There was even loaded rounds in a couple of the boxes, like one or two. Couldn't get my wallet out fast enough. And I'm sitting here, well, now I'm searching for a 222 Remington. I bought the dies a few years ago because I got that idea, and so I've got the dies for it. I got the brass. I just need to finish the mentality, right?
I'll have to give you a load you can try, because I worked one up for my gun, and it did. Honestly, that's an older gun. It's it's actually a Remington. Oh, I'm trying to remember, 722. Does that sound right? They're the older. They're very older models. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Not a 700. But anyway, I found this gun. I was kind of, I want that gun. And of course that's the 222. So I had to actually work on the load a little bit. The gun's been shot a lot. So I made it shoot. I'll have to give you a load. I got one that I built for it.
Absolutely.
And I don't remember. It's been so long since I shot it. It's not VMAXs or anything. It's just a simple Sierra, soft boat tail. So pretty simple.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's the cool thing about some of those old rounds is or older. I shouldn't say like it's super old because it really, I mean, like it isn't like some of the ones out there. But what I like about some of these old school rounds is we're in a day and age where Weatherby just announced a new round today. You know, there's so many rounds that are out there. I am kind of infatuated with the 7 PRC personally. That Weatherby that I've got is, or that's sitting on in my stock right now is going on there. But I think that there's so many calibers out there. And a few years ago, I said to myself, I'm like, Jared, you need, especially when like the ammo shortage was, I'm like, Jared, you need to narrow this down a little bit and stop having one of every caliber, because then you got to have, like, if you reload, like a lot of people do in this thing, you got to go and have the dies for it. You got to have whatever powder it uses, right? You just start getting like, what happens when you can't find the bullets for it because it's a weird thing.
Tug said it. Too late.
Yeah, and I keep falling down the rabbit hole of these new calibers. That 20, like I talked about, that 22 arc intrigues me. Like I've seen enough of them. I was not on board really with it. I'm like, why do we need a 22? Now they make a 22 Creedmoor and all these 22 rounds for coyote hunting and stuff. I'm like, just because, and now I'm like, oh.
I mean, the 222, I just looked it up. 1950. That's 76 years old. So it is an old round.
It's an old round.
But I just like, I'm kind of curious. Developed by Mike Walker, an engineer at Remington, he was a bench rest competitor. I did not know that. Out of Johnstown, New York. Wow. So who'd have thought? Yep, there it is. The Remington Model 722. I knew that's what I have.
It sounded right. I wasn't. I'm not a historian by any means.
The accuracy is flat, and I can speak for that. It's a flat shooting round. Like I said, I've shot it. I shot it quite a bit for a while. The faster 220 Swift and 22 250, they provided more reach than 222 Remington. Of course, overtook it is what happened. So
I don't know if you've had
like a lot of them.
I don't know if you had any time to look into it today, but the new Weatherby 25 Weatherby 25 Weatherby RPM, their new round that they came out with today. I've been busy today. They've been there's a lot of announcements coming out and a lot of things that are kind of behind.
Fast Twist 25. Ooh.
Yep. So it's going to be available in 17 different rifle models. It's going to be interesting to see what that does. I'm all about like seeing things on paper and seeing the numbers, but I also want to see the thing in person and how it actually works. But it's just another round. There's some images out there online of it compared to the 25, whatever the other 25 that they had before years ago. But
there's some of the stuff there. You can add a 25 Creedmoor. Yeah, I mean, they're giving you all the stuff. They're giving her hype already.
The only problem with them releasing these rounds is just like when the 7 PRC came out. You can only get the ammo so many places, unless you can figure out how to, neck down or size down or do whatever, that's more work than I'm willing to put into a new caliber. But,
it's a reloader's dream, they claim.
Oh,
you
just dunk it into the powder and fill it up to the neck and call it good, or one of those. That would be.
I see they got you can stack it up against the 25 Weatherby RPM versus a 257 Weatherby Magnum, the 25-06. Now I have a 25-06 and I have a 257 Roberts. I love both them guns.
That 257 Roberts,
I love that.
That's another one of those rounds that's just like, it's elusive to me. It's like I really like the concept on paper. I don't know that I need to own one. Like Doug said, Jared, quit trying to be responsible. The problem is if I don't be responsible, then I need a bigger house, and I already have a pretty big house.
I love my Roberts. I don't shoot it enough. I do love it. Mine's in a Kimber, actually.
Oh, really?
It's a very nice shooting gun. It's a nice looking gun because Kimber uses a lot of, they just make a high end gun or higher end gun. I love that gun though. It's a flat shooting gun, but I'll be honest. I shoot my 270 in a Model 70 that I bought when I got out of high school. That is my deer gun. It's what I'm most comfortable with. And that's what I grab every time. Not that I haven't used other things, but you think about the 243, the 270, 30-06. Of course, again, in handguns, 1911.
Yeah.
Them are the iconic guns that I don't know. They're still shot today.
I am so pro. I'm most guys that talk about 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm that with a 270. My very first gun that I guess I actually owned. I got it for my birthday from my dad, a 270 Savage Edge. Now it was before they rebranded it to the Access. They got a little lawsuit. I remember those. Had a little lawsuit with Ford there, but I've got one of those, and that gun, that cheap whatever, it was an entry level gun. Yeah, I'm guessing that they were probably around $300 when they first came out, or when they came out.
Probably less than that.
Yeah, probably less than that. Cheap. I mean, not cheap, but still a good shooting gun. That gun that I have there has killed more things, deer, coyote, whatever, all out of all my guns that I've maybe other than some, shotguns or whatever with pheasant. But that gun has taken down more animals and shot more lead out of the barrel at a target than any gun that I've ever owned. And finally, 2 years ago, I decided I'm retired. That gun has done what it's done. And I went out and I wanted to get I got into the suppressor thing, and I went and got into the suppressor thing. I was like, you don't need to be threaded. You can just sit in the safe and enjoy your retirement and get pulled out every once in a while. But now my go-to deer gun's a Browning X-Bolt, and I have been very, very happy with that gun. I'm a big fan of the Winchesters too. I've got a Winchester, but I went to 300 Win Mag in my Brownings. And my Browning for deer hunting, I know it's a little overkill, but they don't run far. A 300 Win Mag.
Eric, I know you're listening. Tell him it's not overkill. He uses a 300 Remington Ultra Mag, so you're good.
I've got a 300 Win Mag, man. That's quite the gun, But since you reload, you can lighten them up a little bit, and to the fact that this year my buddy that I was hunting with went to me and goes, are you still shooting that 300 Win Mag? It didn't sound like it. Even with that suppressor, it should have been louder than that. But yeah, what's cool about, Weatherby, you're going to see things now in the coming weeks of people in the next week and a half of all these brands releasing things, kind of culminating around the middle of January because of SHOT Show. And
yes. I talked about SHOT Show.
I was going to say, I want to touch on it a little bit because we are actually going this year. We're very excited.
Well, I'll tell you what,
we're
about 20 to the top of the hour. I'd like to keep it under right at 2 hours.
Yeah, so we can do that.
Let's take a quick break. Probably our last one for tonight. I'm going to do it. If you haven't noticed, everybody, we've been gone for over 2 weeks, so I've been playing the big ones. Everyone's getting a little extra play time, and they should because we can't do it without them. But we're going to take a quick break. About 4 minutes, and we will be back. And let's go. Let's just transition right into SHOT Show, because you and I talked about that when I was up there, and I have yet to make SHOT Show, but it's on my list. So we'll be right back.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where Lemmons go. Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we're back. So while we were out on the break, I had to go get them. Now, hopefully we don't get nixed by Kami too, but so, here is a 223 and a 222. As you can see, the case is actually a little bit shorter. And I knew that when I was reloading them. This one here, though, I made these actually for prairie dog shooting. They are a 55 grain Hornady, but they're a hollow point. So, yeah, I was loading 22.6 grains of IMR 4064 in it with a CCI 400. Yeah, they were cruising, man. They did the job. They were a lot of fun. Yeah, they're little. If you look at them, they are a very little case.
Yeah, they're very. It's a very interesting round. It is. I know, like the 223. Me and a buddy of mine were talking today about mixing up some coyote rounds today with 223. And I don't remember, like we were looking in the books, I had the Nosler and the Hornady and all that laid out on my desk, and we were talking about like speed. And I don't remember what the speed was that I said, and it was like kind of the max of what it says in the book. And he goes, "Well, I needed to go like at least 300 feet per second more than that." And I'm like, "This is like 110% compressed load." Like I don't.
There ain't a lot of room in this one.
I was like, I don't know that you can fit that much powder in there.
Yeah. Well, is it? I've got 22.6 grains in there, and that's IMR. Well, if everyone that reloads knows, that's a stick powder. So you know what you're dealing with there. I've converted a lot of mine over to ram shot. I love the granule powder, and it burns cleaner. But I still use 4064 and a few things. It's just the gun. Those two particular guns, that's what they shoot the best. So
that's what it is. That's the beauty of reloading. You can cook up your own whatever works best for your gun, for whatever the situation may be. Like I said, even with my 300 Win Mag, I've got kind of some undercooked loads, I'd call it, because for what I'm doing it for, I'm not taking down a moose or an elk to make it actually. Don't be scared of them like that. They like load it down a little bit.
Loads. David will know. David's the guy.
It's one thing when you crunch, but the other thing when you try and fill it up, and it's like way over the top.
Hey, like I said, 270s my gut. If Jack O'Connor loved it, I can love it, right? I mean, come on.
I'm with you there. I think 270 is a great round. It'll be interesting. We kind of touched on it going out here, and I'll transition us into SHOT Show. Yeah, I've been, like I said, I came from the media world, and I have tried to go to SHOT Show for as long as I was in media, or at least like the first year that I was in it. So for the last, I'd say 10 years, 12 years or so. And it is it is kind of the pinnacle. You talk to guys that go to it, especially your first time. It is a big deal. It's the shooting and hunting and outdoor trade show. It is the one to go to. Only dealers and people in the industry can go to it. There's a vetting process for you to go there. And it's just one of those things. In our mentality, yes, it's going to be a fun trip for us. I won't lie. I'm going to go to Vegas. I already said it. I like to gamble. We're going down there a couple days early to get that out of the system. I'm going to stay at some nice hotels and all that. But
and there's a lot of them there.
There's a lot of, for us, it's going to be able to bring back that the latest and greatest and have a little bit of hands-on of what's out there for people. Because, I mean, as you guys know, there's always something out there, but there's these other companies that people don't know anything about. You know, for every company, gun company you know about, there's 10 other ones that are either just getting started or, even us, 701 Arms, right? Like people from your program probably have heard of us at this point, especially if you've been listening for almost 2 hours now.
They definitely have heard of you now.
Yeah, you definitely heard about us now. But like for a lot of the general area, I just had someone in my office today going, "You sell guns?" Yeah, sell guns. Been doing it since August. Like every one of your friends has bought one from me. Where were you?
Well, like the SHOT Show is definitely it's on my bucket list, and I know enough FFL dealers. I could probably get in. I
think that you could get in under media just on this. The following that you have, you've got enough web presence. I really think the issue that I ran into was I was on music like rock stations and sports stations, and we had absolutely nothing to do with the gun industry. But me and a buddy of mine tried for many years to get in on it. I think it'll be really cool, and it's more than just guns. Obviously, there's hunting things and archery things, but it's all focused around the area. And just seeing some of the stuff that we're seeing online, it's a whole nother level to that. There's things. So it'll be really cool. I hope that I can be a part of your guys' show and kind of give you some updates of what we saw.
Oh, yeah. Well, sure. Like you and I talked, after you go, I definitely want to have you on. It won't be right away, but
hey,
what's that?
I think I said, hey, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have you on there and then give us an update for sure. I mean, I know several people that go every year. They say it is something to do. Just go once in your life, just to go to it and see what's there. I can't imagine.
Every instance that I've talked about it with people that who religiously go, it is there. You go, John's got the hookup for you.
Sounds good, John. We'll make that happen. Well, like I said, you can take one of the guys. John can take me. Yeah,
I hit him up today. I was really hoping he was going. We haven't met in person yet. I reached up, I'm like, hey, do you go? Like it seems like he's got enough going on that would be a nice little trip, and he's ditching out on me not going this year. So
what's the dates again?
The 20th through the 23rd in Vegas.
Yeah.
There's still time, John. There's still time for you to book a flight, get a hotel, do all that. There's still time. We can hang out down there. It'll be a good time. No, it's crazy because it's 16 acres of just of everything that we know and love. You know what I mean? Everyone who's taking the time to listen to this, you, me, and everyone on there.
There we go. Right.
This is something that's gonna be. It's cool, and it's so much more than just guns too, because there are classes. For especially like for us, where we're a new FFL, we might not understand the ins and outs of some of the paperwork, some of the ATF stuff. Because as much as you sit down when you do this and you sit down with an ATF IOI, you aren't learning everything. You rely on people like I've asked John questions. It's people who've done this before you. You need to rely on your resources. Well, some of that's there, and it's cool. They do like this. What you're showing there is kind of their after hours thing. They got socials that you can get with people and.
Jason Aldean's Kitchen and Bar. There you go.
It's gonna be. I'm very excited. Like I said, it could
be golf. That sounds fun.
It could be the worst event in the world, and nothing was happening at it. And I still think I'd find a way to have a good time. But like you said,
check this out. Atomic Golf. That just sounds. That's only. Oh, I like that. They don't tell you how far it is. It's a 13-minute drive from the Venetian. If you've never been there, it isn't that far away.
Get an Uber. It'll be good. Don't try and walk. That's what I learned. You don't try and walk through Vegas.
And while you're down there at Vegas, trust me, guys, go down and see the old strip while you're there. I've been to Vegas a couple times.
So this time
we go down there.
This time going down there, we were just there in July. We went over like the 4th of July. You know, what's more American than going to Vegas, right? Like, come on, like on the 4th of July.
Do they celebrate pretty good? I bet.
We went to New York City one year, and I was disappointed. If you ever, I know most of the people in this conversation are not going to New York anytime soon, but if you do go to New York City and you have the option to go and do anything else but the fireworks, go do anything else but the fireworks. We have better fireworks in North Dakota than they do. Anyways, but we were there one year, and I got to tell you, I love Vegas around the 4th of July. We've done it 2 years in a row. There's so much going on. The weather's a little warm, obviously. Yeah, little angry man. Yeah, I could say that you probably don't. You probably have a little bit too much fun down there. I could see how that could happen. But no, it's a cool deal. It's cool that's in Vegas. We were down there in July, and I may or may not have gambled enough that I got a few free hotel rooms. So we're actually splitting our time. This is the first time that we've done it. We're staying down in Old Vegas, down on Fremont Street at the El Cortez for part of the time that we're like the lead up to SHOT Show, and then during SHOT Show we're staying at MGM Grand. So we've never stayed at either one of those properties. Normally we're Flamingo and Mandalay Bay kind of
MGM's
people.
Not bad. I've stayed there. It's okay.
I think it'll be a good time. I mean, it can't be any worse than some of the hotels that I've stayed in traveling in other places in the country. So
they're like any of them there. You've got your great fancy rooms all the way down to your standard, and some of the you get what you pay for. Just put it that way.
I'll tell you that. Well, they're free. That's a little worrisome.
Because if you get a free one, you generally have spent enough. You probably get a nice one.
So, like, you can go. You were talking about buddy who could write off as gambling. You do that when you win jackpots usually, and I got a couple of those, and they're not like big jackpots. They're like whatever the threshold is over the years down at like Grand River and all that. But we went down there, and in the way that these big casinos like MGM and Caesars work, you can just go onto your rewards and see how much you've lost or won throughout the year, and it shows you your profits and loss statements like you would with any business. And I went on there, I didn't really lose anything. It was pretty much even for the whole trip. I just apparently I have potential. Okay. They always say that when it comes to gambling, it's potential. Apparently, I have the potential to lose a lot of money, and when I
got to stroke you a little.
When I went and like booked the room. They always say if you follow any of the Vegas stuff, it's like, well, when you get there, they might upgrade you. I didn't have to get there. They upgraded me as I was checking out to a 1-bedroom suite. And I'm like, oh no, don't bring any money back, money with, but no,
I was quickly just looking here at the media credentials, previous media credentialing, of course, at one or more of the other SHOT Shows. That helps you out.
Yeah.
Do it long before the deadline, which was in October. So we missed that for that. Demonstrated record of print broadcast, a cable or web-based coverage of shooting, hunting, law enforcement, or a related activity. Well, we got that covered.
You got that covered.
We're good. SHOT Shows run for the benefit of shooting, hunting, outdoor, and law enforcement industry. Demonstrated record of reasonable objectivity, fairness, and balance in past coverage of the industry will be considered. We can check that one. We got that one done too. And let's see. No, they do not recognize Facebook, X, or Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, or Snapchat, and certain other social media platforms as qualifying news outlets.
Yeah, but you got a website that counts.
We have a website that we've had pretty much since the beginning. Yep. So yeah, shouldn't be an issue as well. But
I think, like I said,
try it out.
I think with you guys, I think you have enough of a following. Like you said, we were at 100 viewers at one point in time. That's bigger than some of them out there. The cool thing, and maybe John can, because it sounds like he's been before. In like when you go and sign up for it, obviously there's blood semen sample that you got to give them and all your stuff, But one of the rules is because you got new technology and all that there.
Right.
There's no any kind of photography there. So
no, I've been told that before.
Where if you're a media outlet, media outlets get special privileges where they can do that.
Well, they do that because there's so many new things coming out that don't get released. I mean, they're secret. That's where they do it. And hey, we're showing everybody our new stuff. Then they'll go and do their media and release and big. I'm surprised Weatherby didn't hold off. Really, in all honesty.
I think they're trying to get ahead of it or something. I'm not sure. It's weird too because, like I said, Beretta had a bunch of announcements today. too. It's weird that they did that now, but I guess, hey, whatever. It's their marketing.
One of the comments here, Brian's absolutely right. And he said, the Gangster Museum. Yes, go down there to the Mafia Museum. It's in the old post office in the old downtown, basically, of Vegas. It's 5 stories. They take you to the top, and then you work your way down. I highly recommend going to that because
we've never been. That's like the one thing that we've talked about doing. We finally this year we went to the because we've been there 2 times before this. We went to the Neon Museum, which I guess if you know kind of the history, you probably should start at the Mob Museum and do some of the other stuff and go there.
The Mob Museum is great.
But
I'm telling you.
It was so cool to go there at night. But like I don't we know a lot of the history, but you don't know enough of history about these casinos. So then it's kind of hard. Yeah. But yeah, it's really cool. The other one, if you're in Vegas, so I'm one of those people that doesn't fly. So we drive down there. It's an 18-hour drive from Carson.
I love flying.
But you get to see some of the coolest things between Utah and Wyoming and all that. So, so it's a nice drive, even though it's a little bit long. I like driving. But one of the cool things about when you come to Vegas, if you can drive, obviously Hoover Dam. The other one is there's the Clark County Museum. And if you ever watch Pawn Stars, they had a guy come on Pawn Stars that was from the Clark County Museum. It's actually a really cool museum. Doesn't really cost a whole lot to go to. And it breaks down just the history of basically kind of the same thing. If you like history and you like how this, we're going to call it a social experiment that is Vegas got started, they've got a lot of cool stuff there. So no, it'll be a good time. We're really excited. I love the idea of being able to bring back more knowledge. We're always looking to help people out, and knowledge is power. And that's one thing with all this new stuff, to try and grasp your mind around it. You got to be at the place where it's at.
There's a trip, David and Leon and Jamie and Axe. We could take a road trip next year, go down to SHOT Show, but we're going to take a detour a little bit, go into New Mexico, hit the Whittington Center, then go to Vegas, then come home. Only 574 miles in between the Whittington Center. If you don't know what the Whittington Center is, I've been there a couple times. That's NRA's huge one out there in New Mexico. That is just, I can't even, you love to shoot trap. That's heaven for trap. So, well, I'll tell you what, we are at the top of the hour, and I know we could go on for another hour.
Oh yeah.
we can have you out again. Is there anything you want to tell everybody?
Check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, all that. Find us at 701arms.com. And like I said, if my number's there, literally whatever number's on our website is my cell phone number. Call, text, whatever you need, we'll help you out.
Yeah, right there. 701arms.com, guys. I highly recommend it. Of course, go check out all our great sponsors: Horton LaserCraft, Little Angry Man Arms, Lauer Auto Repair, and Kalon's Auto Service. We can't do it without these guys. Everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. Fantastic show. Thanks, Jared, for being my guest. And let's do this again.
Absolutely. Have me back anytime. We'll chat.
All right. God's blessings to each and every one of you guys. Keep your powder dry. And don't forget, Friday morning, KFYR, 550 AM radio, Mitchell in the morning. I'll be on there bright and early at 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central. And then Blackbeard Logic. I don't know who Leon's got coming on Friday night, but I'll tell you what, it's always going to be a great show. 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, 6 o'clock Central. We'll see everybody Friday morning. Thanks again.